When Dorothy Fulham walked onto the stage that night, the room changed. She was well into her 85th year, yet she carried herself with a presence that felt timeless, sharp eyes, a quick smile, and a voice that still knew how to command attention. She had spent decades on television in Cleveland, longer than almost anyone else in the country, and she wore that history lightly, like a favorite coat. The applause rolled in waves as she greeted the host with warmth and humor. She wasted no time setting the tone. With a mischievous grin, she joked about sin, faith, and forgiveness, instantly winning over the audience. Her wit was effortless, her timing impeccable. It was clear this wasn't just a guest appearance, it was a conversation between generations. The talk drifted quickly from jokes to substance. She was asked about drugs, about marijuana laws, about a young man sentenced to years in prison for possessing a small amount. Dorothy didn't hesitate. She called the punishment absurd, completely out of proportion. She believed deeply that the government had no place interfering in personal choices unless someone was harming others. Her voice was calm, but her conviction was unmistakable. The audience erupted, not because she was loud, but because she was clear. From there, the discussion turned inward, toward morality itself. Was anyone truly without sin? Dorothy dismissed the idea with laughter. A life without mistakes, she suggested, would be unbearably dull. Sin, she argued, depended on definition. Murder and theft were wrong, of course, but envy, betrayal, and cruelty were quieter failings that lived in ordinary people. That honesty resonated more than any sermon. Love soon followed as a topic. Open marriages, modern relationships, impermanence, ideas that felt foreign to her generation. Dorothy spoke tenderly about love as something sacred, something rooted in responsibility and commitment. She believed most people experienced one great love in their lives, with others orbiting around it, never quite matching its gravity. Love at 40, she admitted, was different from love at 20, wiser, heavier, sometimes lonelier, but still real. Money entered the conversation, as it often does when love is discussed. She dismissed gifts as proof of affection. A diamond meant nothing unless it was earned honestly. Love bought with theft or vanity wasn't love at all. Her values were unshakable, shaped by hardship rather than theory. When the conversation shifted to music, she smiled politely but confessed that modern rock held no appeal for her. It wasn't her language. Every generation, she implied, speaks its own dialect of joy. Hers belonged to another time. Then she told a story from her childhood, one that quieted the room. She grew up poor, truly poor. At 11 years old, all she wanted was a pair of red gloves. 50 cents came into her hands, a fortune at the time. She searched store after store, but no red gloves could be found. So she bought red cloth, made a pattern, and stitched the gloves herself. That moment, she said, became the blueprint for her life. If she wanted something, she would make it happen. Poverty, she argued, didn't automatically build character, but living did. Relationships did. Struggle did. Life itself was the great teacher. When asked whether life was harder for young people now, she surprised many by saying she thought it was simpler. She believed no one truly starved in her country, that help existed for those who sought it. Others challenged her, pointing to homelessness and hunger. The debate grew heated, emotional, uncomfortable, and honest. Dorothy listened, disagreed, reflected, and finally conceded that while resources existed, they were not always shared. That moment, unscripted and raw, felt like television at its best. As the night deepened, the conversation turned philosophical. Was she afraid of death? She said no. At 85, she walked alongside it unafraid. She rejected traditional ideas of immortality but marveled at existence itself. Why did humans have 5 senses? Why consciousness? Why the stars? She believed humanity was evolving toward understanding something greater, that exploration, science, and curiosity were not accidents. She didn't claim to know what came after life, but she believed life itself had purpose, that humanity might one day understand the universe, not just observe it. Later, she told a story about a ring she wore. Once, a famous comedian saw it and casually asked who she had been sleeping with. Dorothy laughed it off. The assumption amused her more than it offended her. The ring, she explained, was earned through love, commitment, and life lived fully. When told she looked good for her age, she smiled but dismissed the idea that kindness guaranteed longevity. She knew cruel people who lived long lives too. Life, she suggested, wasn't fair, but it was fascinating. By the end of the night, it was clear Dorothy Fulheim wasn't just a television veteran. She was a witness to nearly a century of change, a thinker unafraid of contradiction, a woman shaped by poverty, curiosity, love, and independence. As she left the stage to applause once more, she hadn't just entertained. She had reminded everyone watching that wisdom doesn't come from certainty, but from asking better questions. And that, perhaps, was her greatest legacy.